I'm just trialing something out. I hope it works. If anybody's tuned in to listen to me, this might be broadcasting simultaneously through my Periscope and my YouTube account. Well, if there's a message I have for you, I guess it would be that it's so important not to be hostage to science denialists. Oh, look, it looks like people can join through Twitter. So maybe I should be using an actual, here we go, tripod to stabilize this. Hello, Aaron. Yes, this was just going to be a check to see how it works. I'm using a new platform that links your broadcasts via both YouTube and other platforms that you have, such as Periscope on Twitter. And hi, Jack Russell. Hello. Well, let me see if I've got anything interesting to talk about now that I've determined that this is actually working. So Brexit, there's some no deal legislation that they're trying to pass in the British Parliament. I think it's in the House of Lords possibly at the moment. So we've got our fingers crossed for that. We don't want Putin to succeed, basically, in the world efforts to sabotage democracy and govern instead the people in the interests of what seems to be an oligarchical ruling class, people with no care or concern for the public, who cheerfully drive economies off a cliff, but who insist all the while that they are merely protecting their societies from the dangers of what they won't say out loud, but they imply is multiculturalism. So they're people who make racist comments or institute Muslim bans like Donald Trump, who refer to migrants essentially as infestations and try to capitalize on the baser parts of the human instinct to form tribes. A lot of us were quite comfortable forming tribes around modern principles of civilization and democracy, but various destabilizing instances, such as attacks by Islamic extremists, and I'm talking about 9/11 and the other attacks in Europe and Bali, etc., have given them a platform to campaign on, to capitalize on people's fear that not enough was being done. And now we have this terrible position of climate change, a problem that really needs the world to pull together and work together to reduce the downsides of industrialization, namely imminent destruction in terms of, well, we don't know how long, whether it's a few decades that we have, but it's not an overnight change. It's a change that's already happening. Temperatures are increasing. The oceans have absorbed a lot of the excess heat trapped by the layers of greenhouse effect gases that we and industrialization have emitted into the atmosphere. And what's the problem with that? The problem with that is that the oceans have pretty much reached capacity for absorbing that excess heat, and we're going to start to see multiplying effects as a consequence of the heat. So we can already see that there's an intensifying pattern in terms of hurricanes, that hurricanes are getting bigger and stronger and more frequent. So when Donald Trump nonsensically lies about how he's never seen a Category 5 storm before, he's seen 5 since being installed as President of the US by a combination of fossil fuel interest billionaire type people who are also Christian fundamentalists, who want women to be suppressed, hate women being able to decide what to do with their own bodies, and just want there to be more of a hierarchy that favors them permanently in place. They're threatened by democracy, and they feel like their white nationalist political party, the Republicans, would be facing political obsolescence if America's population continues to diversify and the Republicans couldn't succeed at successfully gerrymandering the Democratic vote into submission. So there we go. That's all I'm going to say. Thanks, Jack Russell, for joining, and Aaron. I will. This platform seems to be working.